December 23rd, 2022. Houston, Texas. Less than 48 hours before Christmas. Inside a small auto repair shop near West Little York Road, Luis Casillas was still working late. The sound of air compressors echoed through the cold December evening. The smell of motor oil filled the garage. Tools were scattered across the concrete floor, and a 29-year-old father was trying to earn a little extra money before Christmas. According to his family, Luis planned to use the money customers still owed him to buy Christmas presents for his two young children. It was supposed to be an ordinary workday, but within minutes, it turned into a public execution in broad daylight. And what haunted Houston investigators the most was not only the way Luis died, but the words he spoke just before the gunshot. According to court records, a group of men arrived at the shop that afternoon. Among them was 23-year-old Raudel Orozco. The conflict reportedly began over a $500 repair bill. $500, an amount far too small to justify taking a human life, but enough to ignite a deadly rage. Witnesses said the argument started with shouting, voices rising, threats exchanged, then the tension escalated fast. Investigators believe Luis quickly realized the situation was spiraling out of control. He tried to run, tried to escape from the garage, but the men chased after him. Outside the repair shop, Luis Casillas began begging for his life. This became one of the most disturbing details in the entire case. According to witnesses, Luis told them he had a family. He had children waiting for him at home. He pleaded with them to take whatever they wanted. Money, cars, anything, just let him live. But according to investigators, the answer he received was no. Then came the gunshot. One bullet to the head in broad daylight. Just days before Christmas, Luis Casillas collapsed onto the cold pavement outside the garage and never got back up again. By the time police arrived, the shooters were gone. Authorities later revealed that 3 suspects fled to Mexico shortly after the killing. The murder weapon has never been recovered. The getaway vehicle also disappeared. But what makes this case especially terrifying is how meaningless it all feels. This was not a cartel hit, not organized crime, not millions of dollars, just a dispute over a $500 repair bill. And in many ways, that is what makes this case such a disturbing reflection of modern America. So many murders today do not begin with elaborate criminal plans. They begin with anger, ego, humiliation, a moment of lost control. And once a gun enters the situation, everything can change forever in seconds. The most heartbreaking part is that Luis did not simply disappear from his family's lives. He left behind unfinished dreams, unopened Christmas gifts, children who would never see their father come home again. Luis's sister later said something that deeply shook the Houston community. He was a father, a son, a brother, and he begged them. But those pleas did not save his life. During the 2026 sentencing hearing, Raudel Orozco pleaded guilty to murder. He faced anywhere from 5 to 40 years in prison. Luis's family attended the proceedings throughout the case. For them, no sentence could bring him back, but at the very least, it was recognition that his life mattered. In the end, the judge handed down the maximum sentence, 40 years in prison. The courtroom reportedly fell silent. But then, another shocking moment unfolded. According to sources inside the courtroom, as deputies escorted Orozco out, he turned toward Luis's family and shouted in Spanish, "One day I'll be free." That moment sparked outrage, because even after the conviction, Luis's family still could not feel true closure. And perhaps that is the darkest part of cases like this. Not just the killing itself, but the feeling that humanity disappeared long before the trigger was pulled. Looking back at the entire case, one fact is impossible to ignore. Raudel Orozco was only 23 years old. Luis Casillas was only 29. 2 young lives destroyed forever. One man buried beneath the ground, another spending decades behind bars. And it all began over $500. But beneath the surface of this case, what truly killed Luis Casillas may not have been just the bullet. It may have been uncontrolled rage, the loss of empathy, and the moment one human being decided another person's life no longer mattered. Since that day, Christmas has never been the same for the Casillas family, because somewhere inside that home, there will always be an empty space left behind by the father who never came back after December 23rd, 2022.